All right, so black-green rock. I always like to start by explaining the name meme because there's a lot of people that don't understand it. So the name rock in Magic refers to aggressively slanted decks that tend to have some quality interaction or removal in them. We've got a little bit of that here. We've got the aggressive slant from not only our 1-drops, but also been playing 4 copies of Rotting Regisaur. This card's been sweet. Cavalier of Night gives us a way to rebuy the Regisaur after it dies, and Blood for Bones allows us for some tricky shenanigans to rebuying these things, and this at our top end. This deck felt okay last time we played it, so I'm excited to see how it feels again. I'm playing the Fandom Legends Standard Tournament on Thursday, so looking to find something kind of off the beaten path to play in that. Thanks for the 5 months, WeMax. I appreciate that. It isn't even about a board wipe, Obscene Sanity. Like, I'd actually argue you'd want to go back and rewatch those games if you think the issue with the 5-color deck is it doesn't recover from a board wipe. The 5-color deck actually recovers from board wipes incredibly well because it's able to refill its hand and keep its hand so incredibly stocked. The issue with the 5-color deck are the people that are killing it very quickly with going over the top. They're decks that I can't wait for this card to rotate. Just like can't put into words how terrible this card is for the format. And it's very possible the last iteration of Black Green Rock we played had 4 copies of this in it. Might be wrong to not be playing this in our rock deck. All right. Just a good lesson for the person I just timed out. Your feelings are not facts here. So if you want to tell me that you feel like my deck is misbuilt, do the math. Do your homework. Show me the numbers. Don't say, I feel or seems like. Say, Jeff, your deck is mathematically built improperly, and here's the work to show it. So don't leave me guessing. This start's pretty sweet, huh? Turn 1 this, turn 2 this, just like attack, attack, attack. Seems not bad, .jpg. So they can have a Nissa this turn, but I get to Nissa them back next turn. Cavalier of Thorns, sure. So Knight actually gets to attack into this because it can pump itself up to a 6/7 next turn. Yeah, this card's been super impressive. I agree. Hey, Dr. Derpinator, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, I think I just let damage happen here, right? And then I go land Growth Chamber Regisaur. They've got 6 mana here, so if they have a mind control, they can take 1 of my things. This with a 6 land is a lethal attacker all on its own because it threatens to pump up into a 9/10. All right, they must not have realized I could activate this twice. Or maybe me missing that was their only out. Maybe me missing that was their only out. I can see that being the case too. That was a good first game. It's a good first game. All right, so I want to cut a lot of my top end in this matchup because they go way over the top of anything we're able to put together. So we'd much rather just be lower to the ground. I think because I want to be low to the ground, I want Disfigure in this matchup for killing their mana creatures so we can disrupt them while getting under them. Is this a Midnight Reaper matchup? I think Midnight Reaper's fine just because I don't want to cut that many threats. Like, I'm down to 23 creatures right now, and I think that's as low as I want to go. So I think just like a 3-power 3-drop is fine. Hey, Dorian, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, this card's going to be a format staple for as long as it's legal. For sure. This seems good. This seems good. Nissa's fine at our top end because she's an aggressive card at our top end. I don't think I want Duress in this matchup. I think I'd rather have Veil because Veil's like a total blowout. Leaving up 1 mana is usually not too bad. Duress tags their Nissas is its upside, but the main thing I'm worried about are their mind control effects. This hand really wants a 2-drop, but it's fine. Not good, but fine. So this is a really small thing, but I'm going to shock this in on 1. And the reason why I'm doing this is if I fail to draw a 2-drop next turn, but I draw a Veil of Summer, I want to be able to put this into play tapped and hold up Veil of Summer still. Because holding up Veil of Summer would allow me to, like, stop a mind control on this on their turn 3. My health total, usually we're not racing too hard in this matchup. Knight could maybe be okay in Aristocrats. The problem with the current Aristocrats deck is that it's a very red slanted deck. So if you look at the mana base, it's not going to consistently cast this card on 1. It's part of the issue. I could have pumped this to get another counter on it, but I think I want to just keep going wider here. Thorn Lieutenant's not particularly impressive in this matchup. In fact, I think I'm going to bin it here. Disfigure's not a terrible draw. Tried making mono black aggro deck with the Knight. There's a lot of impactful. Yeah, I could see that. So they have 5, 6. They can have 7 mana this turn. So they can still only steal 1 thing. Yeah, I agree, Corel. I think if you like playing mono red, now's a great time to be laddering with mono red. I think a lot of people lack a little bit of respect. I think the only thing people are playing with some consistency on the ladder that's okay against mono red is the Gruul Dinosaur decks with 4 Ripjaw in the main is good against red. Yeah, I agree. The fact that we have Knight of the Ebon Legion. Wow, that just happened. Knight, the Knight card, Thorn Lieutenant. We have a lot of cards in this deck that give us the ability. Do I want this land? So if I go Knight Regisaur this turn, and then I discard Thorn Lieutenant, I can draw this as land number 6, play Nissa, attack, play Midnight Reaper. Alternatively, I could also discard the Midnight Reaper, keep Thorn Lieutenant, because I'm going to be able to pump this really soon, right? I think either way I want the land. I think the mana is useful here. You think I want to keep the Reaper for continued gas? Do you think I need continued gas? I think blocking is going to be pretty awkward for my opponent regardless. I like that we're an aggro deck that can leverage the extra mana from Nissa too, which is sweet.
The land fights for us.
Yeah, I think I'm ditching the Reaper here.
Power surges through these lands. Beware.
All right, and then like this is a lethal attack, right? So I like have to block. I guess they can just block here. All right, I'm gonna let this happen. Because this will still trigger now. We can put this into play. They know my last card. Hey, so I'm glad to hear it. Manipulation takes their whole board, but I don't think I can really play around that card at this point. It is worth noting that Rotting Regisaur makes holding Autumn's or Veil of Summer a little bit awkward. We get a 1/1 if they do it. That's true. We do get a 1/1 if they steal our board. Okay.
The land fights for us.
Nice, Drake Gang. Congrats. Well, I mean, that's like an okay draw because it means that next turn they're gonna have a harder time. They can't draw their mass manipulation next turn and kill us.
Glorious ground to walk on.
I'm gonna leave this back as an extra blocker. So they can activate this twice, right? They have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. They have 13 mana total. I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, so I can pump this twice. Oh, this is unfortunate. Because I didn't attack with this, I'm not going to get a counter on this now. That sucks. That's fine, though. So they can double pump this and eat my 7/6, which actually means Veil of Summer gets to hang out longer in my hand, which is nice. And then I assume next turn they're going to be able to trade here, which is nice for them. But they're also at 6, so like their health total's like slowly whittling down here. They have more lands than us though, which holds Nissa. Activate him a trap card. Wow, do they have negate? They bring in negate against me? Woohoo! Alright, as you will. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Harness the elements.
Trading here is the same as trading on the backswing, so might as well get this out of the way. Gives me less mana to pump this, I guess, but it's pretty close to the same. Yeah, I agree. The visual on the hexproof effect is really slick. Huh? So they have, this is 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 now. So if I activate this, why do I care about attacking their Nissa? I guess attacking their Nissa is good in the event that it's good in the event that it's good in the event that they have a second Nissa. Well, the alt doesn't do anything if they don't have lands that are creatures, right?
True power.
So now the way this has worked out, if they block this and pump, I can pump mine to eat the Thorn Lieutenant and take that off the table and keep mine. Andorak, thank you for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This seems fine, I think.
Try my patience.
What games have I been liking? Some of those sex with an M20. There's a variety of things that have felt okay so far. If you head on over to my website, you can click standard decks, or you can click videos favorites to get a feel for both of those things. If they hit a manipulation or a hydrate crisis or just any other big payoffs here, we're probably done at this point. Second Nissa, sure. That might stabilize them. I'm running out of lands here, which is a big deal.
Rise, my elemental friend.
I like that Growth Chamber Guardian attacks as a 4/4 next turn, whereas this is only attacking as a 2/3. So I like getting this down ASAP. Yeah, land's not a terrible draw here. So if I plus Nissa on this forest, I can activate this and cast a Growth Chamber Guardian this turn, so that sounds good. I want to keep this back so I have a blocker for Nissa next turn, right? I think so. I think so. I assume we're going to see them block here because these will trade now because this will be a 6/7. Yeah, honestly, a third Nissa might be correct in this deck just because of how many mana sinks that we have for it. Like, we have a lot of very aggressive creatures that also happen to allow us to sink Nissa's extra mana. Yeah, I'm aware, Steric. So this is going to die, so we won't be able to use that mana anyway, so might as well pump this. I don't know, Dirty Digits. That's something I'd have to think about. We'll probably look at after we're done here. After this match. I think it's just this. I think it's just this. The fact that this gets to attack as a 4/4 is a pretty big deal. So our Nissa is gonna die this turn, right? I have no idea, Erdian.
The land fights for
I'm pretty sure that was the last deck of the stream, so probably not. If I recall, the last match we played in that set was a really terrible match, and I didn't feel like playing Magic anymore. We ended playing against Esper, right? And Esper sucks to play against, so that's probably just the end. I think I say no blocks here, because if I draw a removal spell, they die, right?
I cannot protect you anymore.
So if I attack with everything, they have to block everything. My website is jeffhoagland.com. It's also linked below the stream. If I attack with Night, they have to block it. And it guarantees this is dead. And if they want to kill this, they have to double block. And if they double block, I give this death touch and I kill 2 of their things. They're all the same thing, chat. They literally all go to the same place. Oh, I'm dumb. They can double pump this. Yeah, I think we're probably dead at this point. I think we put ourselves in a position to draw a removal spell that turn and then missed it. That's not bad considering they were on the play this game. Yeah, we're a little bit too slow. I don't think we're gonna be able to get out from under the Nissa now. Maybe if we draw a Noxious Revival and they fail to draw any more gas, we could be okay, but we're pretty far behind at this point. Yeah, I'm aware we're trading there. It's, again, trading's not good enough for us. We're too far behind for a trade to be profitable.
Harness the elements.
I'm like, they have enough 3/3s now that even if I rip away to kill this, we're probably dead. Yeah, I mean, this card's basically Teferi, right? That's one of the reasons why it's so good. It's a 5-mana Planeswalker that effectively doesn't cost 5 mana because it untaps a land. We had 1 Disfigure, right? We had 1 Disfigure. And like I said, we were on the draw. They had a Flood of Tears to reset things, and we were like, a removal spell off still from being okay. I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy with how we're sideboarded. I'm gonna go ahead and run it back. Let's try and run them down to the play. I think we're gonna slot a 3rd Nissa in after this game. Yeah, Blood for Bones actually might be the cut. It might be that, like, because we don't have anything huge to reanimate, it's just like a value card for us. So it could just be like Nissa's also a value card, so the cards do similar things. That's probably the swap if I want to fit a third Nissa in. Not really Gecko Pirate. And the other thing is that again, the actual tournament formats and like what we discover to be good is much slower than it is on Magic Arena. Like, it's very easy to fall into this trap of like, because we've been playing with the cards for a week and a half now, that we like are in the know, when in reality we're all just like slamming noodles into the wall, right? Like, this Saturday is the first major standard tournament. We're gonna have another major standard tournament the weekend after this one as well. So the format doesn't really take form and have shape in terms of what we know to be competitively good until we've had a few different tournaments like that. So there's a couple of things that we have inklings that might be good, but the cruel reality of the world is likely going to be that like Mono Red and Esper from last season are still like the decks to beat. But we're currently in that very experimental part of the ladder where we don't really know who, like, everybody's like playing their bad brews against other bad brews. Very, very likely every deck that was good and tiered last season is still good and tiered this season. So, Mono Red had already been splashing green. Is this waiting on me? I'm on the play, right? I think I should relog. It's making me worry. Did I get disconnected? We've not played vampires yet on stream. Wow. Well, I mean, I'm glad my 7's good, because obviously we have to keep it. I think it disconnected us and just didn't tell us we were disconnected. And now I can't click on anything. Every update, this application gets closer to Magic Online. Every update, we get closer and closer to Magic Online. It's so embarrassing. I really thought things were going to be different. But between the lag and the random bugs and just like... Alright, I mean, our hand's good. If we draw a third land here, like, technically no harm, no foul. We'd have snapped, kept this hand, so like... Our aggro deck's playing 25 lands, so hopefully we... You know, am I supposed to Noxious Grasp this? Maybe I'm supposed to Noxious Grasp this. I don't know, we've got a pretty aggressive opener here. I think I want to just do this. It powers this up. I've got this grasp to like kill a Nissa if they slam it. And that's fine, right? I really want to draw a land next turn so I can go grasp plus this. If we curve grasp this into Nissa, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. They didn't put that on top, which implies they don't currently have an out in their hand to this board state. Huh? Do I just play this? I think I play this and attack for 4. Do we like that? I think I play this, attack for 4, and then next turn play the Growth Chamber Guardian. And then play the Growth Chamber Guardian post-combat. I could, like, attack with both of these. I think I want to do that. Let's just go right here. If they want to trade, I draw a card. I guess I could attack with both first because they have to block this, but they don't want to let me eat it here. That could be right as well. Just attack with both to start, and they probably go block. They could also like take 4 and then chump this, and then I do this post combat. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Maybe I'm supposed to. I might also just take this hit here, and then like they have extra mana next turn. They have 5, 6, 7. This would be 8 mana. So because I'm not forcing them to block with a mana creature here, they could take two of my creatures next turn with a mass manipulation. Yeah, I think my attack was wrong here. I think I was supposed to not play this and attack with both of these because it forces them most likely to throw away a mana creature, which cuts them off of manipulation for 2 this turn. That being said, they do need a blue buddy land here because they only have 3 blue. All right, and then if they don't have another blocker here, they're dead, right? Because this is gonna make a 3/3 with haste and all 5 lethal attackers. So they need another Llanowar Elves here. Actually, they're just dead to the Mobilized District on board, right? Yeah, they're dead to the Mobilized District. All right, that felt pretty good. Aside from Arena pretending it was Magic Online at the start of that game. Why do I want to play Legion's End? What problem does my deck have that you're solving by adding Legion's End to it? Where do you envision that card being good? I think I'm gonna turn a Blood for Bones into a 3rd Nissa here. That seems fine. Night is really impressive. The 1-drop Vampire's been sweet. If we have a good run with this today, I'll probably play it in the Fandom Tournament on Thursday. This deck, it's got some somewhat aggressive draws, and it's also got a good bit of interaction, which is what I like. What's going on, Mini Koopa? Happy Monday. Sure. I am a fan of Big Dumb Dinos. I am a fan of Big Dumb Dinos. This card's really good against Scroll. Their dinos are smaller. Right on time, Knight of the Ebon Legion. Thanks for showing up to the party. Welcome. Depending on what they play here, I might go this. I kind of want to get my hand empty before I start dropping Regisaurs. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go double spell here. Combo. Do I shock this in and play this though? I might actually want to cast this, huh? Do I want to cast this? Nah, I think if they play a 4-drop, I want to be able to trophy it and then play this. That's just some good clean living right there, chat. That's just some good clean living right there. And for my next trick, Arg. All right. Cruelty's great here. Blood for Bones is slow. This is slow. This probably has text, right? I think Cavalier's better than Nissa. They're a more aggressive deck. We don't know exactly what they're doing. They just kind of played a couple cards and died. I'm assuming they're some kind of mid-range deck. Yeah, the fact that those two are instants gives them a big leg up. Fantastic. Let's draw a couple of lands here. To go 1, 2, 3. It's just elementary. What could it be? Or are they another Teamer Elementals deck? Are they just like missing their color last game? They might be Teamer Elementals and just have been missing a color. That explains why they didn't cast many spells. Are they missing a color again? Temple of Tilt, Temple of Tilt. Do 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 boop boop boop. It's fine. Still have a play. How do you feel about 7/6s? Rawr, rawr. Okay. Would love to draw an Overgrown Tomb for the turn. Oh, get him. So the Overgrown Tomb is actually lethal there because we Nissa the Overgrown Tomb and then we attack, and then before they get to blockers, we Assassin's Trophy their blocker after we've declared the 3/3 as an attacker. Do. This deck's going on the website. If you haven't checked out my site now, head on over to magicesports.net now. Bew. Easy mulligan. This is fine. Throw a swamp back. It's because we got our Sweet War. The Spark Swamps, look at them. They're very angry. Oh, I should make a note to update the Bridgevine deck list. Yep. I'm confused about how that redirects to your website. It redirects to my website because learning that you should buy all domain names associated with your product when you set up a new infrastructure is really complicated. If you go into the filters option, there's a basic land filters button now. It wasn't always there, so don't feel too dumb. It was added somewhat recently. This card doesn't have a foil option. So this is a free attack into a decision. So I don't actually have a Disfigure here, but I could have had a Disfigure, so I got a free 2 points of damage in. Just good, clean value. Domains do cost tens of dollars per year. It's a pretty big expense. Regisaur needs Flample. Yep. All right, they called. That was probably a bad attack on my part. Wasn't thinking about the double block there. I gotta pump the brakes really hard here. If they attack with this and we rip a removal spell, we're in a good spot. So they've stabilized here, but we have the biggest, dumbest dino still, which is nice. I'm just impressed that there's still people playing Standard on Magic Online. That's pretty impressive. So if they attack with everything here, I eat 2 of their things, bounce here, take 9 down to 3. Which probably isn't a terrible exchange for them. Would really love to draw a Nissa so we could start cranking it up. Old Hagak is dead, long live Phoenix. Yep. Yep. We'd love to draw a Cavalier. If we hit black Cavalier, we'd probably lock this game up. Cavalier would let us shoot this. What does this attack mean? This attack means, Lava Coil? Is that what we think? It means Lava Coil? It's fine, I get my 2 for 1. Oh, if they have Growth Chamber Guardian in their Raptor deck? Seriously? I don't mind Llanowar Elves in your Raptor deck, but like Growth Chamber Guardian in your Raptor deck seems absurd. And the reason for that distinction is you're almost always gonna want this card. You can adapt in response if you use full control. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, I'll give it to you. I like that. That's a good take. You can adapt in response if you use full control mode. That is an excellent take. I like it. Upon reconsideration, that sounds sweet. Well, Thorn Lieutenant doesn't kill their creature, Tower Knight. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually, thinking about the details on it. Yeah, Growth Chamber Guardian is really good here. The fact that they hit that first probably means we're dead. All right, so this eats here. This eats here. These trade 1 for 1 here. This can gain trample. So I have to let them draw a card. But this is fine, right? This dies, this dies, this dies, this dies, this dies. And I go to 7. And this gets bigger. I feel like this attack is good for us. I feel like they're supposed to wait a turn. Oh, I could double block the 5/4. Yes, that's better. And then I can put this here and they don't draw a card. Yeah, that's much better. Good call. I take less damage and get rid of the better creature and they don't draw a card. Those blocks are just much better. And God bless you and the competitive advantage you provide, Twitch chat. I think we're probably dead still. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Vraska probably doesn't kill enough of their stuff. These are definitely great. I don't think this is a Disfigure matchup. How do we feel about Disfigure? So far in playing this, Gutter Bones has felt a little lackluster. It's like kind of cute with Rotting Regisaur. Yeah, I think Disfigure might not be good enough. I think I like Gutter Bones better than Disfigure, especially on the play. Maybe on the draw, I'll swap these for the Disfigures. Oh, that's true. The Disfigure teams up with their dino that damages their own thing to kill the X-Spores. Hey, Deacon, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think on the draw, I'll swap the Disfigures in over the Gutter Bones. I think this is fine. It's not amazing, but so like a couple removal spells, we draw some threats, we could be okay. Pelt Collector. Definitely want Disfigure. Because the Knight only triggers at the end of our turn. The beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life, put a warning counter on it. Fox, thanks for the 3-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Corel. That's unfortunate. Probably dead. If they draw anywhere close to average here, we're gonna lose this game. We have to like spend a removal spell or thing that just drew 2 cards. If I had to sequence my lands differently, I might have been better off this game. Playing the Mobilized District on 2 might have been wrong. I probably should have just played an Overgrown Tomb untapped, or a Swamp. Because if I'd have had 2 mana up there, I could have killed this before I triggered on these and drew them cards. Something worth thinking about. What are cards we could play instead of Gutter Bones? What's another, like, cheap-ish threat? Pelt Collector, that seems mediocre. I could just play Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves doesn't seem completely unreasonable. I think I ideally want it to be another 1-drop. The problem is, I had Llanowar Elves in an earlier draft, and the problem with it was that, like, if you look at my mana, I don't have that many untapped green sources on one. But the fact that we're curving to Nissa anyways might just make playing Llanowar Elves fine. So I'm gonna have to discard this card anyways. So I think I'm going to go ahead and trophy here, just because it makes them pay some more. So, like, they're going to get to adapt it and get their thing, but I'm going to attack them for 10 next turn, and they only have a 2-3 in play, so I think that seems good for me. Is there a compelling reason why we're playing Blood for Bones over Find Finality? You know, I'm not sure that there is, Burgle. It's a good thought. Fine Finale gives me some a nice grind against aggro decks, which is sweet. So one of the nice things that Blood for Bones does is it lets you sack your knight and rebuy the same knight, but that's probably too cute. It's probably too cute. Yeah, Finale doesn't kill Regisaur either, which is nice. I like the suggestion of just playing more good cards. 4/4s are busted, chat. Yeah, this card's been pretty underwhelming. To be fair, Llanowar Elves probably wouldn't have been much better this game. We mostly just flooded out. Our opponents drawn their Growth Chamber Guardians and we haven't, so we just haven't had any card advantage. I think we just hang tight for the time being, because, like, I have a 7/6 versus their 4/4s. So, like, if we draw, like, a Nissa or a Cavalier of Night, we're just, like, right back into this. Yeah, Finale would be a great draw. I agree. Howdy, Smiley. Cast New Vivien reliably. I don't think so. I also don't think New Vivien's that good. Maybe she is. If we played Llanowar Elves, we could probably cast New Vivien reliably. That's something to think about. Is New Vivien better than Vraska? She might be, because she's an aggressive card. She, like, makes our dorks bigger. Let's try that. Let's try Elves, New Viv, and find Finality after this match. Is Barkhide Troll that one that requires you to exile a creature every turn? Oh, she gives him trample. Oh, that's so good. So, again, one of the things I really want to instill in people is that your ability to cast your spells isn't hingent on your other spells in your deck. So saying Vivien into Knight is hard to do, don't tell me your feelings, tell me the math. Mathematically, is it actually hard to do, or does it just look that way on paper? Remember, green-black has 12 dual lands in this format now. That's a big deal. We also, if we play Llanowar Elves, that's more green sources of mana. So these are things that make casting New Vivien reasonable. Think I just pass? I'm gonna pass. I could, like, attack with this, but, like, it's trading with Pelt Collector on the backswing, so that's nice. I think it is Burgle. We don't have enough creatures to hit with 3-mana Vivien consistently, I don't think. And New Vivien giving Trample is, like, really big game. That is an absurd draw. How about if I kill your thing and then draw a card, because I have Midnight Reaper? This thing's got lifelink, chat. This thing's got lifelink. And now I can start attacking with this, because if they trade off for this, I'm gonna get to draw a card, and then Cavalier can bring it back later. The Gutter Bones, Burgle? The Gutter Bones have been kind of whelming. Yeah, New Vivien is also a removal spell, which is nice. I mean, it's like a really soft combo with Regisaur. Yeah, giving this card Trample is also good. I agree. New Vivien, and I think if we want to play New Vivien, we do need the elves to cast it. Wow, that was impressive. Like I said, Cavalier is definitely one of our heavier hitters in this matchup, so why we got 3 of them at the top end. No, I forgot to bring it back. I should have brought it back and cast it. I honestly was surprised that I hit them. I assumed they were going to trade or chump block, so. Oh, gosh. It gives the Knight Trample and it has Death Touch. Death Touch Trample is cheating. For people who are unaware, I forgot to swap in the Disfigures. Sorry, we've been talking about a lot of things. If you have a creature with Death Touch and Trample, you only have to put 1 point of Death Touch damage on every blocker, so you trample over most of it. GMG, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for keeping me around. Death Touch plus Vivien's Punch is also good. Yeah, we're gonna put some Vivien's in this deck. She's really good with Knight, huh? I mean, this is an iteration of that deck, Blue's the color. We're trying different things out in the same shell. Sure. Death Touch does not affect Planeswalkers. This is one of our best cards in this matchup. It's just so big. Hoping to draw a 2-drop next turn. Yep. Like I said, it's very possible. I almost certainly wanted the Disfigures on the draw here. Almost certainly wanted the Disfigures on the draw. Not having them's a mistake. We were talking and I was clicking through. That's fine. Ooh, do they not have a land? No land would be really good for us. I think I just need to do this to stem the bleeding. This is a blocker is like fine here though. Can I just Midnight Reaper? I'm just gonna Midnight Reaper. Like if I play this turn, I play the other one next turn. It becomes hard to like empty my hand before I start discarding too much. It might be correct to just do this though. This card's been very good. I've liked it a lot. Okay. Huh. So I think I just want to get Regisaur down to start racing. So again, you're not counting Llanowar Elves in there. So Llanowar Elves gives us more green sources. Vivien's also a card that you don't have to play exactly on curve. I think I bottomed that. We just want to find a Cruelty, right? It might be worth keeping that just because I can go that plus I can go like that plus a Regisaur next turn. I could give up Mobilized Districts to make Vivien more castable too, though. I might also want to just cut a black source for another green source. to give me more consistent elves on one. I might want a third Cruelty in the board. Having a Cruelty to tag Phoenix seems pretty important. Ripjaw Raptors kind of everywhere in the format. This card is also not good with the 2/3 Dino. They've got a lot of creatures in their deck that are not super friendly with that 2/3. We're not going to play Vivien for the Wish ability. We're playing Vivien for her uptick and her -3. Use a removal spell and a pump spell. I feel like we're dead here. I feel like we're dead. We're not 100% dead, but I kind of just want to go make changes and like get back into the queue because I don't really care about my rank. The rank is meaningless. So let's make some of the changes we just discussed. Because we need to get to blue-red friends here because I don't want to run too much past 2 o'clock with construction because Nerd Girl is calling in at 2 o'clock. I don't want to take up her time. Too much of her time. Two 1/1 counters. They gain trample till end of turn. Yeah, that's real good with this. She also triggers Growth Chamber Guardian, which is sweet. She also triggers Growth Chamber Guardian. Do I want Find Finality? I feel like this is not unreasonable in my deck full of creatures. That's pretty good with Cavalier, right? Do I give up both my districts? I should probably give up both my districts and add Forest. That's 17 green. If I cut this and go up here, this is 18 green. This is 19 green, 18 black. I'm gonna go 18. Or I guess I have an odd number here. How many decks do I think I'm going to do tomorrow? Probably at least 4. At least 4. 4 to 5. I mean, you don't have to play this card on 1. That's another thing, too. You don't have to put this card into play on the first turn of the game. Five tap lands is definitely too many. It's probably not absurd to start on 3 of here, just so we can draw them more often. Do I want this card? It's kind of clunky and long, right? Maybe if I want this card, it's in the sideboard. Maybe I just want Vivien instead. Let's do that. Like, I like that Vivien lets us get real aggressive. No idea, Party Bus. I'm probably going to keep doing Underlords and not sub-only mode, just because the view count's been a little bit lower. It's easier to build communities when you're not in sub-only mode. And so if I'm looking to attract new viewers from an Underlords only content, probably having sub-only mode off from there. Like, one of the reasons why we turned sub-only mode on for the Magic streams is because, like, the community is well developed. There's a lot of people here, even during sub-only mode. Yeah, I agree with that, Burgle. We started this deck a little over an hour ago. Ditch Cavalier here. Pretty far off. Only have one black source. This is a turn 2 Regisaur, potentially. I don't know if that's good with Nissa in our hand, but... Ooh. Oh, if we curve Regisaur into Vivien. Can we curve Regisaur into Vivien? Is that a thing we're allowed to do? That sounds like a thing I want to do. I could do this into Vivien now, too. Alright, I think we're gonna err on the side of waiting on the Regisaur so we can get, more, Because, like, I'm not... If I had the 4th guaranteed land, I think I'd jam here. As much as this deck sucks to play against, like, it's probably a good thing that we're sitting here playing against it. Because there's probably a pretty good chance we play against this deck on Thursday when people are trying to win. Well, we'd have hit the land.
With the Arkbow at my side, I can't lose a fight.
Yeah, maybe, Burgle. I don't know. Like I said, because I didn't have the 4th land in my hand guaranteed, I felt like I'm supposed to be a little bit more conservative on the side of emptying my hand first. What's your opinion on Risen Reef and Assault Ice Shell? It's probably fine inside of a Command the Dreadhorde deck. Hey, Bile Jenkins, thanks for the 2-1-3 sub, by the way. Chai Yeti, thanks for the 5. And Rough Ambassador, what's the only change channel we'll have after M20? If you want a channel with hot, bad takes, you should probably watch somewhere else. I'm not going to give a lazy one. I could put both counters in the Growth Chamber Guardian, that's true. I guess if I put both on here, it prevents her from down ticking. And maybe that's a meaningful thing to do. I could see that being a reasonable choice. Yeah, they got Search for Azcanta now. Yeah, I probably should have put them both on the Growth Chamber Guardian to prevent that. So, not every deck you play against is a 3-mana Teferi deck. Also, if you look at the rest against, again, in Magic, context is king. If you look at the rest of my deck, has a variety of cards that are decent against 3-mana Teferi, like Thorn Lieutenant, like lots of 1-mana creatures. So it's not just as simple as to say Growth Chamber Guardians always bad all the time. There are plenty of matchups where Growth Chamber Guardian is plenty reasonable. I wonder if we want a Brontodon in the sideboard. Because she can fetch a creature from outside the game. So, like, Brontodon's like a card I'd sideboard in occasionally. Yeah, her ultimate doesn't have text here right now, the way our deck is constructed.
My prowess, meditate and prepare.
There's a good chance we don't get another turn here because Magic Standard format kind of sucks right now. And again, this format's a lot of fun when you're playing Bad Brews against Bad Brews, but at the end of the day, it's going to come back down to just, like, playing mostly against stuff like this. Yeah, Brontodon is also good with Cavalier. I agree. This is a perfect opportunity for me to microwave my lunch. Thank you, Nexus of Fate, for giving me a chance to microwave my lunch. Oh, you know what? I think I figured it out. WotC thinks Magic is a top 10 esports brand now. So the reason why they like Nexus of Fate is because Nexus of Fate is like you're watching Twitch inside of Arena, because you're not actually playing Magic, you're just watching someone else play Magic. So this is to get people excited about watching Twitch, because they get to practice watching Twitch inside of Arena, because they're not actually getting to play. That's what it is, isn't it? I figured it out. Figured it out. All right, so I want these Viviens to destroy enchantments. I definitely want the Duresses. I don't think Veil of Summer. Sometimes they have counterspells, but I think this is probably not very good here on average. Is Grasp good enough for killing their planeswalkers? Like, is this good enough for killing Tamiyo? It probably is, right? I feel like I likely want to cut some of this top end. Nissa attacks a lot, but by the time she's attacking, she's probably not relevant. I think I'm going to cut these and a Vivien. Just be a little bit lower to the ground with some disruption. All right, let's give it a try. Yeah, outside the game in tournament Magic refers to just your sideboard. I think this is fine. I'm going to try and scry for a 1-drop or a 2-drop to play on one. I'm not going to Duress on the first turn of the game, because I want to give my opponent more chances to draw things like Tamiyo and Wilderness Reclamation and stuff like that. We maybe get punished if they... Regisaur is pretty quick. Hey, afternoon, nerd girl. Take a peekaboo here. What's up? I think I'm gonna take the Tamiyo here. The Callous Dismissal is a sorcery, so like if they play Narset on and down ticket right away, Midnight Reaper just finishes it off. So that seems good. I let on Midnight Reaper here as opposed to the Regisaur because I was kind of expecting them to just play the thing, and I didn't want to have to discard a card to this if I was just attacking this anyways. Why not take the Nexus? Why should I take the Nexus? Nexus of Fate, I know it feels bad when they start comboing with it, but Nexus of Fate doesn't actually do anything if they don't have a source of card advantage going. So if you keep their Planeswalkers off the table, if you keep their Search for Azcantans off the table, they don't actually do anything while they're casting Nexus of Fate. They're just sitting there spinning their tires. Yeah, generally speaking, when there's no changes, they don't mention it. All right, so both of these need to attack here. We need to get her off the table. And then we have Trophy for the Search for Azcanta next turn. because again, we just want to keep those style of effects dead. So, in my experience, a lot of people think Arena is a lot more fluid than it actually is. People just talk themselves into this conclusion, though, because they think their super anecdotal evidence from playing 3 matches here and there is representative of everything. Remember, there are tens or even hundreds of thousands of people playing Arena at any given point. And on any given day, you hit different sample sizes of who you're playing against. Like, the amount of matches you need to look at to meaningfully conclude that something has actually changed is much larger than the, you know, let's say even a dozen matches that you could play every single day. Like, a dozen matches out of millions of matches of very, very small sample size. Well, fortunately for us, unless they have a Wilderness Reclamation, they can't cast Nexus this turn, so that's nice. They can, however, pump this into a 6/6, but if they don't have a Fog here, I can kill Nissa next turn, which is great too. Hey, Virtuous, thank you for the 6 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So they can pump this to a 6/6. I think I'm sending these this way. I need to just take her off the table.
Fight on without me.
If they eat something, I get to draw a card, which could be relevant. And like, again, watching them cast Nexus of Fate feels bad, but they're only like attacking me for three or so every time they do it. So like, can they chain, you know, 6 more Nexus of Fates together? Because as long as they don't have a sustained source of card advantage while they're doing this, just every one of these is like, draw a card, untap my land, steal 3. Instead of asking me the question and expecting me to tell you you're wrong, Euclid, if you want to make a strong statement like that, the onus is not on me to tell you that you're wrong. The onus is on you as the presenter to articulate your position and say why you are right. So if you would like to posit the hypothesis that Arena has created a more fluid tournament metagame, please do your homework and show your work as to why that could possibly be the case. Instead of saying, hey, I think this thing is true, disprove me, do the inverse instead. If you think this thing is true, show your work. Tell us why it's correct. Hey, Cito, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Do I just smack them with stuff here? How much stuff do I want to smack with is the question. So I can pump this. I can technically pump this too. Do I want to get in there with Midnight Reaper also? I don't think I want to attack all, do I? I guess I get to draw cards if things die. I kind of want a chump blocker. I mean, they just drew 2 cards off the top. So, like, feels like Root Snare is just because you're traumatized to that thinking they always have the Root Snare, which they don't. I think I want to leave back some blockers so I can trade with this next turn. Oh, yeah, I should have, no, none of my stuff is dying. This is fine. Oh, I should have tapped this so I could cast this knight. I can't cast this knight because I tapped this way. So, small mistake on my part there. Should have used the Llanowar Elves to pay for this, so that way I could cast this other knight.
Just the trick for this. Hone your prowess.
All right. Well, they can start drawing cards with this. The fact that I failed to play this last turn could lose us this game. Like I just said, Icklid, if you want to make a statement like that in this channel, this is not Trump's Twitter account. You don't just get to post nonsense here. So if you want to make a strong statement, back yourself up with facts and reasonable citations, or just don't post it. Don't spread misinformation. Validate, verify, help other people learn. If they take another turn here, I'm going to concede. Do I want a couple copies of Brontodon on the side? I probably wouldn't mind having a couple of Brontodons on my sideboard, huh? It'll be interesting to see what viewer numbers and engagement rates look like after people have liked the wonders worn off of M20. Because like at the end of last season, the standard format was so bad that I was having numbers that were like bad to the point of like my MTGO only days. I wouldn't be surprised if we get back there while people wait for rotation in the fall. Yeah, for a tier one, a stock tier 1 deck, the $10 donation's fine for that. If you want me to build something new that doesn't exist, that's considered a build around submissions, and build arounds are a little bit more expensive than a stock donation because I have to do some extra work. Maybe trading there is a little bit too aggressive. I can see that going either way. I think I'm okay with this trade. Taking their creature off the table makes their Legion's Landing worse. I get to, like, draw a card here, too, which seems fine. I would like a land for this Nissa next turn, please. Hey, Kodiak, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Hope life's treating you well. Would really love an Overgrown Tomb here. No, rotation will happen with the new set. If you ever have a question about how rotation in Magic works, you can find out all the details here at what'sinstandard.com. They don't have the City's Blessing yet. I think I just want to get aggressive here. Just gonna go ahead and fart this and find a friend and then trophy this 3/5 and attack them for 6. Growth Chamber Guardian's good. I know this card had its stock go down a little bit in the world of Teferi, but I think in a deck that has 8 1-drops like this one, you usually have enough things to pressure Teferi that it's fine. And this card's really good in, like, other aggressive and mid-range matchups, because it's like an aggressive 2-drop that generates card advantage as the game goes along. Temple of Malady is not a forest.
We stand together.
I'm gonna rebuy a friend here. I'm gonna make some 3/3s.
You are capable of more than you assume.
So I think I want a Nissa. I think I want to kill their Ajani.
Seek shelter in my stewardship. The land fights for us.
Eating my swamp means I don't get to cast
Strong enough.
Legion this turn, which feels a little bit bad. All right, they're down to 3. They get to kill my Nissa on the backswing here. I don't know if that exchange was good for us. I basically traded like my Nissa and a land for their Ajani. I'm not sure if I got the good end of that deal. I mean, if I hold Lieutenant back, I don't kill their Planeswalker. So maybe you make the argument maybe I'm supposed to attack them is the argument. Amist Earth, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. Hope life's treating you well. If they want to attack here, Regisaur gobbles them up. Do I want to fart this Growth Chamber Guardian, discard the second Growth Chamber, keep this? I don't think so. Okay, just let this happen. How does attack with all sound? Is that crazy? I feel like it's not crazy. So I activate this, and then their entire board dies? Do they have a removal spell here? I'm really sad. If I get cast down here, I'm pretty sad. That seems good for me. Because their lord died, which meant they were blocking a 4/4 into a 4/4 and a 2/2 into a 2/2. I hope everything ends up all right for you, Alec. Thanks for the Prime support. Good to have you back. I would like to attack. Wow, they drew cast down for the turn. We are fortunate they did not have that last turn. Last turn could have ended up real bad for us. You got an ad? How do you report that to Twitch? There should be a support button somewhere. Don't ask me exactly where, but it exists. All right, how defensive do I want to be post-board? I think pretty defensive. I think I just like cut these planeswalkers at the top end, just like board in a bunch of spot removal and like a couple of Thrashing Brontodons. What do we think of? What do we think of this configuration? If I'm cutting this much of my top end, is it crazy to cut a land? It's like cut a forest. That's true. Vivien is removal of sorts. I don't know. I feel like she's hard to protect. I feel like there's going to be a lot of boards where they've like gone kind of wide around me. And I think I'd rather have this selection of removal. Like this is removal as well. Vivien is nice for letting our 7/6 trample over their chump blockers though. So I can see that being appealing from we're ready to turn the corner. And she's a removal spell that sits on the table so she doesn't get like rotted out of our hand. It's not amazing, but I think it's in the range of keepable. There was people talking about arena and the numbers, and here's an interesting metric. There was a article on Bloomberg talking specifically about arena, and it mentioned that the average arena user spent $75 on the product, and that balances out. That includes free-to-play players. So like just like think about how much money the whales are putting in. That they're balancing out free-to-play players up to $75. You want to think about kind of crazy metrics? I'm not blocking, so I might as well attack. I'm just gonna attack with everything and then pump one of these knights. I love that this deck gets to play cheap creatures that are also mana sinks. Hey, Nerd Girl, are you around? Do you want to start a little bit before 2 o'clock? If you're here. I was thinking maybe I'd play one more match with this one and then we could draft. This game's pretty over. And creatures like this and Growth Chamber Guardian are just really good in general because games like this where you're flooding, they make flooding feel a lot less bad because you have something meaningful to do with your mana in this game where you flooded. All right, I'm kind of digging this deck. Let's do one more. Do one more, see how it continues to feel, and then we're gonna wrap today up by doing a couple hours of draft at least. So for people know, this is usually a constructed only channel. I got invited to the Twitch Rivals draft tournament on Wednesday, so and it is a team tournament, so Nerd Girl is going to be my teammate for that, and she's gonna call in and help me learn the ropes of M20 drafting a little bit here, hopefully. Because she does primarily limited. That sounds fine. To like go knight on 1, knight on 2, activate knight on 3, attack, power them up. Sounds great. Seasons in Arena are really easy to track. They're always monthly. That's an excellent draw. Yay, decks with 1 mana cards. Yay, 1 mana cards. How great would Vivien be next turn? Can I get a Vivien? Nissa, fine. Still pretty okay. All right, don't Deafening Clarion me. Don't Deafening Clarion me. They're probably a 4x Clarion deck. This implies something like Jeskai Planeswalkers from last season. If we don't get Clarion this turn, these get out of Clarion range next turn, which is a big deal. I assume they're going to bounce one of these.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
So, I think it's important that I get my knight out of Clarion range here. And now I have to kind of decide. I think I'm actually untapping a forest here. Because if they hit Clarion, I don't want to lose my other swamp. Hey, Matt Maxon, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm like, this plus Nissa's 3/3 is actually lethal next turn. Box of shoes. Thanks for checking in for 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. So that seems pretty reasonable. We've got 3 copies of Duress here, which sounds great. Cavalier of Night sounds a little bit slow and clunky at my top end. Don't really want that in this more controlling matchup. Noxious Grasp kills 3 mana Teferi, but that's probably not good enough, huh? What do we think of just like Duress for Cavalier? Click submit. I feel like a lot of what we're doing lines up pretty okay into what they have going on anyways, right? This deals damage to Planeswalkers too, right? Yeah, it does. I think this seems fine. I don't know that Grasp is good enough. A lot of their Planeswalkers are blue and red. Brontodon survives Clarion. Does that make it good enough? I'm not sure that it does. I don't know that killing Search is really profitable. I think I'm just gonna run it like this. I have Assassin's Trophy, and like if we really need the Brontodon to pinch, Vivien can grab it from the sideboard. So I think I'm gonna err on the side of not. to it not being the work environment they were used to. Anyone who has any, if you ever heard of the website Glassdoor, I'd encourage you to go read the reviews about Wizards of the Coast on Glassdoor, and it suddenly, like, makes very clear why Magic has some of the issues that it does. To roll my liability flag up the flagpole here for a moment. Yeah, this is fine. We go turn 1 night, turn 2 scry into a 3rd land for these. How we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you're someone who enjoys constructed best of 3, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here. We get a lot of variety in what we stream every day. As always, love to give a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed. I'd also like to plug a couple of my wonderful sponsors here really quick. The Vitamin String Quartet creates unique instrumental string arrangements, everything from Zelda to Zeppelin, and they would love to underscore your next gaming session. You can find them streaming now on services such as Spotify and Apple Music. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mousepads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork that they already have on their website. And of course, CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them.
Don't make your life garbage time. Join us in Hoaglandia today by subscribing to Jeff Hoagland with Twitch Prime today.
And we're going to drive into one more match here with the Black-Green Rock deck before we roll on into some drafting. That commercial is like the best $10 my buddy's ever spent. It's excellent. From Glassdoor on WotC, extremely toxic culture. Leadership makes decisions and changes their mind at any given whim. Leadership is always trying to do whatever they can to make themselves look better, especially at the expense of their reports who can't speak up for fear of retaliation. Massive turnover. You can be there for years and have excellent performance reviews and still be let go with no indication. It goes on for several more paragraphs. Yeah, and that's not the only... It's been a while since I've looked, but that's... We're doing it! We're doing it! Can I interest you?
Love tearing this place to the ground.
Oh, it's a removal spell too. I was gonna pump, and I forgot this was a removal spell. I forgot this was a removal spell. Oh, this was. If this is wrong, chat, then I don't want to be right. If this is wrong, then I don't want to be right. I'm supposed to just play the other Regisaur, right? Do I trope? I think I'm just supposed to play the other 7/6. Thunk. How you doing? How you doing? Do-do-do-do. All right, they could have what's it called? They could have another Reckless Rage here. If they have a Reckless Rage, they get to kill one of my Regisaurs. God's willing. Okay, yep. And they get that back. We still have 2 lethal threats here though, so that's nice. They put a card on top, so we might see another feather, and they could run back this line. This was a sweet start. I like mid-range decks that have aggressive starts like this. Okay, yeah, that's another good one. It lets them only take 4 from one of these attacks. And we drew a bunch of 5-mana spells here. We drew bricks, and Regisaur's chewing up our hands, so if they have 2 ways to target this, they get to eat one of these, right? But this is my only line. We're all in. So we're hoping they don't have a second 1-mana way to target this. Because if they do, they get to eat my Regisaur, and then they can trade with this one next turn. Yeah, looks like they have another spell to cast. Yep. Reckless Rage doesn't quite let them trade, so I think we're okay. Their God's Willing is finally gone. So, like, if we hit a trophy, we could be okay. If we'd have hit some spells in there, we'd have been okay. Do we trade? I think I'm supposed to trade. I think I'm supposed to trade so it stops chewing up my hand. They have another God's Willing. Vomit. All right, we had a good start, but their start was better. Rough. I think there might have been. They draw Reckless Rage, Justified Strike. There might have been merit to not playing the second Regisaur on 2 and being like trophy plus this. I think we were too aggressive, which I just wanted to do the thing, right? Like we had a really strong curve on the play. I just kind of wanted to do it, but I think that was wrong. Definitely want to bring in these. Midnight Reaper's probably not stellar. Yeah, I could have also upticked the Vivien. I could have upticked the Vivien, and then I would have had a 9/8. Upticking Vivien the first turn could have also been correct. Yeah, I think you're right. There were a couple, and that's, you know, when people ask me like what I'm looking for in a Magic deck, like if I can walk away from a game having had enough decisions to like look back on and go, oh, could I made some of these decisions differently to impact the outcome of that game? That's really what I'm looking for. And like, that's why cards like Narset and Teferi are such terrible card designs that are miserable to play against, because those are cards that limit you on how many decisions you get to make in any given game. Anytime you get decisions taken away from you, it just feels really bad. And those cards take away so many decision points in different games. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to play second Dino on 2 or on 3. And then we could play Vivien as a follow-up and be attacking with a huge two huge tramplers the following turn. Yeah, there were a lot of early sequencing decisions that game for sure. I think I just want more removal spells here. I don't remember the exact count of cards in our hand. I'd have to go back and look at it. That might be true. So next turn we can go like double threat or threat removal spell, and the following turn we can Vivien and start pumping them up. I think this card's great against every non-Teferi deck, Marty. This card tops. That's probably a red source. And I think this deck with its 1-drops and its Thorn Lieutenants is like probably okay against Teferi a lot of the time. So like we can afford to play a card that's like good everywhere else. Red-Black Aristocrats and Green-Black Rock are my 2 favorites at the moment. Yep. Red Rover, let Legionnaire come over. We're gonna try, Marty. I think I'm supposed to block this because if they have Defiant Strike, I'd prefer... I guess Defiant Strike blows me out either way. Defiant Strike here means that... Defiant Strike here means that they don't get to scry though, and this stays permanently smaller. Yeah, okay, I've talked myself into this one. Would kind of like to draw an untapped land next turn so we can go like Vivien plus Trophy. Do we think they have God's Willing? I'm at 12. I'm just gonna attack with these and then play this other Growth Chamber Guardian. Meow. I think I just shoot the feather and attack, right?
I will survive you.
I guess I could Noxious Grasp this plus Fart this. Maybe that's better. That might have been better. Yeah, that was probably better. Really? Okay. Deal. I think all roads are heading towards Rome here, so I don't think it really matters, but... So they're dead on board to Vivien, because she gives trample. Disfigure is not good enough in this matchup, right? I don't think it is. Nah, probably not. It tags Legionnaire. It's an okay combat trick. What do you think of that? I'm gonna bring in 1. It gets Vanguard, yeah. One seems fine. This is great. The elves kind of help you curve out with temples too, because you can go like elf into temple 2-drop, which is great. Huh? I'm probably not in for a second Cavalier, actually. I think I want to trophy this turn. Disfigure. It could be that I want to get, wow, their basics are all in their hand, or they just, oh, they know what's on top of their deck. They know what's on top of their deck, yeah. How do we feel about blocking? Because this way, if they have something to protect it, I can Cavalier and kill it. I think that's a good line. This like banks on them not having another land, but I think that's fine. This means they have to have untapped white source plus God's Willing here. Growth Chamber Guardian's an excellent draw. And if this dies later, we get to get back the Thorn Lieutenant. It's a 5/4 with lifelink, which is like pretty good. Doesn't die to Reckless Rage, doesn't die to Lava Coil. Well, super excited that we bottomed the second one. There's Brontodons in my sideboard. So this can fetch Brontodon. For that, eventually, maybe. Would love to draw a land so we can go Growth Chamber Guardian and Vivien put counters on it.
Nature will take back what rightfully belongs to it. My.
This is our last friendo. I'm just gonna get both of these out of Lava Coil and whatever it's called range. Just tick these to 5/5s.
My, how you've grown.
Most of the major websites, Cool Stuff Inc., Star City Games, Channel Fireball, they should all have an online buy list that you can type your stuff up to and send it to, and they'll give you a quote. Obviously, they'll need to grade your stuff once they get it to make sure it's the quality you said it was, but it's usually pretty painless. If you're local to a Grand Prix or a Star City Games Open, you can also go do it in person. I've kind of liked the new Vivien. Yeah, I think we're going to play this on Thursday. So Thursday's the Fandom Legends Tournament, and I usually like to play decks that are sweet because stock decks are boring. I think I kind of like where we ended up at. I think the mix of top end that we have here is good. Regisaur continues to be impressive. Llanowar Elves makes Vivien pretty castable alongside Cavalier of Night. Yeah, and I mean, like, this deck just got a lot of really efficient threats in it. Like, you know, we often make the joke real decks have curves, and this deck has a very reasonable curve in it, right? Is it crazy to put Finality in over Nissa? I think so. Like, Nissa is a really good aggressive top-end threat. Like, and not to mention, even though our deck is pretty low to the ground, because we have cards like Knight and Thorn Lieutenant and Growth Chamber Guardian, our deck's actually pretty good at spending all of its mana, which is kind of appealing. This is both just giving out +1/+1 counters and giving this trample, and also just being a removal spell seems really sweet. We're not really using her -5 at all. We've got a couple Brontodons in here that might be useful on occasion, but mostly she's just here for her +1 and her -3. And both of those modes seemed more than reasonable for us. Nah, I don't think I really want to change my sideboard to leverage the Wish ability too much. Like, the only card in my sideboard that I could maybe see myself giving up is Noxious Grasp, but I'm not really sure that that's worthwhile. All right. This I can't foil, right? Nope. This I can't foil. I hate the mastery system, chat. I hate it. I hate it. I just want to buy my foils. I just want to buy my foils. I'm gonna put this up on the website too. Message my buddy right now and get a banner. What cards do we want for the banner on this one? It's probably Regisaur, Knight, Regisaur, Knight. Is it Cavalier? Is it just all the black creatures? They're kind of the key cards, right? I kind of feel like I want a green card. Do we want Vivien? It could be new Vivien. Yeah, Reggie, Knight, Vivien. Those are probably good. Because Reggie's good with Vivien too. I like having cards from both colors. Yeah, I had 3 mana Vraska, but this card is just much more aggressive, which is sweet.